Prepping your products to send to Amazon. In this video, I'm going to tell you a bit about what you're going to need and give you some prep advice that will not only keep Amazon happy, but will be good and cost effective for you as well. So let's get right on into it. This is a picture of a bunch of different prep materials. So there you've got a barcode scanner. So that is just effectively going to make sure that the barcodes that are on the products are scannable and that things work out. And that way when Amazon go to scan things, it works out for them as well, because obviously if it doesn't work out, Amazon are going to bring that up with you. You've got some sticky labels, you've got a sticker remover, you've got brown tape, you have a tape gun. Having a tape gun / tape dispenser is going to be a lifesaver for you if you're doing prep. You've got the poly bags there with the warnings on, you've got a tape measure. Obviously there's more to it than that, but that's just a bunch of random prep materials there for you. So brown tape, a tape gun is optional, but it really does help. Poly bags, sticker remover, labels. So you will probably be wanting the 6x4 labels that go into label printers, some scales, and I'll go into a bit more detail about specifically what scales you're going to need. Some bubble wrap packing paper, so just the brown paper. It's really cheap to get. Boxes, sellotape and dispenser, which is optional again. So here is some sticker remover. Now it's really important that you get your hands on something like this. Now 151 was one of the best in my opinion. However, it seems to be a lot harder to get a hold of just straight up 151 sticker remover. It now seems to be that these kits are everywhere, but you don't need a scraper every single time. It is useful to have a scraper, but obviously you don't need one with every single instance that you get some sticker remover. So yeah, you can get the 151 stuff to start with, so that way you get the scraper with it too. But other than that, Zep is a great one. It's really easy just to get hold of the individual bottles, so it's completely up to you. Most sticker removers are good. You just need something to help you get rid of the adhesive that is left over from any stickers that you've taken off of any of your products. So for example, if you've got a product that you're going to send into Amazon, you're going to sell it, maybe it has a sale sticker that the stores put on, you need to take that off. Anything like that, you need to make sure that you are taking it off, okay? And if it has like a sticky adhesive residue left over, we need to clear that. It's really important that we do that. So here is a video of some adhesive being taken off of this Peppa Pig toy. So there's a load of sticky residue on the top. So just put a little bit on a cloth or a rag or whatever, and you just simply wipe it off. It makes it so easy to get rid of. For your poly bags, they need warnings, and they need warnings in a few different languages. To be fair, most poly bags that you will be getting a hold of will have these warnings, so it shouldn't be too much trouble finding them like this. Lots of places do poly bags exactly like this, so it's fairly easy to come across. There's just a video of the poly bag with all the various warnings on it. Thermal label printers. Now you can choose from an ink printer or a thermal label printer, but honestly, take my advice when I say get a thermal label printer. So the difference is the thermal label printer uses heat instead of course using ink toner on the labels, and obviously ink can smudge. Even if it's dry to start with, if it gets wet, if it gets rubbed too harshly against like another box, say, it will smudge. And the last thing you want is to be charged a load extra by Amazon because you've sent in something with a load of smudges, okay? Thermal label printer, you don't really have any problems like that, and it keeps Amazon happy. It's really good for you as well. This is going to be quite cost effective as opposed to using an ink printer, because of course, if you have any mistakes, Amazon will make you pay for it, but you won't have any smudges or anything like that with a thermal label printer. Now, the cheapest one I've ever seen was a second-hand one for £20, $20. So obviously they can go for as little as that, but you are looking typically around, I don't know, 40 to like 100 and I don't know, 150 for your standard thermal label printer, depending on what brand you get. Rollo is a good one. I don't know, there's just so many out there. So I would just say have a look around. Your second-hand ones are still really good as well, because they tend to be the sort of thing that businesses look after, so you don't have to worry if you do get a second-hand one. Grab a second-hand one, that's probably going to work out better. So it needs to be a thermal or a laser jet printer. Okay, they are going to be using heat for that label, not ink, and that's going to be better for us. So some basic prep tips: always check the most up-to-date Amazon prep advice. Prep stuff changes, so if you've watched a video from like 2 years ago and they've taught bits about prep, it's probably best to ignore a bunch of the guidelines that they have put out in that video, because it might not be up to date. Ignore those older things. Always make sure that you're referring to the Amazon guidelines. You can find them on Amazon Seller Central. All that prep stuff, you can find it dead easy. Just look it up, Google it, find it in your Seller Central. There will be the most up-to-date prep advice there. Any liquid items such as sprays or shampoos should be taped to prevent leakages. So just over the top of like the lid, for example, just to ensure that nothing spills out, because not only will that mean you can't sell that individual item, it could ruin other items in your box and it might make a load of them unsellable. All poly bags must have suffocation warnings. A hairdryer or a fan heater is good for removing labels initially. So just to straight up just take a sticker off if you're finding it a little bit tough. Putting a hairdryer over it first is a really good way of just instant removing it, and hopefully it doesn't leave behind any or very much residue for you to have to clear off with sticker remover. Fragile items should be bubble wrapped to protect them, or poly bagged if any part of the product is exposed. With your prep stuff, don't be afraid to go that little bit overboard with your prep. It's better to do a little bit overboard than not being as prepared, because you want to make sure that your products pass Amazon's check. So it's best to just go a little bit overboard. You know, prep materials are cheap. It's best just to overuse it a little bit if you are thinking, oh, is that prepped right? Like, does this bit need to be covered? Just cover it. Cover all barcodes before adding your product label. You're best using brown packing paper to fill gaps in your boxes as opposed to any other kind of packing paper, but just because brown packing paper is the cheapest. Always use double wall boxes. They are the strongest. If you don't use double wall boxes, entire shipments can very easily get ruined. If they get rained on, if they get thrown around by the courier, you know, you're best having the double wall boxes. So a bit more about boxes. This is optional, by the way, but keep boxes under 15 kilos if possible, as this gives you better shipping rates with UPS. I would advise using UPS if you can, because that's Amazon's partnered courier and you get favorable rates just for being an Amazon seller. So there's a perk to choosing UPS if you are selling on Amazon. If it goes over, it goes over. Boxes over 15 kilos, they require a heavy label on all 4 sides of the box for health and safety. If you are sending off a box of things that are all fragile as well, it's worth just putting fragile stickers on. It's really easy to get a roll of the fragile tape or fragile stickers that's really cheap to get, so it's worth it just to help reinforce to the couriers, hey, don't be throwing this thing around like a volleyball. There's different ways that you can pack your boxes, so you can case pack them. So identical items in manufacturer boxes but sold individually, so everything's going to be the same or uniform in the box. Individual packing, so you are mixing SKUs or conditions in the box, and you can have different quantities per box as well. So here is a video of using scales. Now these are the ones you need to use, external scales, where the face is of course external. If you do not have scales like this, it's going to be really hard to get the weight of an item if you're covering the face of it. So you 100% need to have external scales like this one with that external face, so that way you can see what the actual weight is. What have we got next? So yes, this video is of taping up a box. Doing it multiple ways in a cross is the strongest way you can tape a box. It's the strongest way you can reinforce a box, okay? Crossing it over. All corners covered with the tape, so nothing can slip out or tear and widen a gap, or just make sure that you're crossing over and covering every corner with that brown tape. And it's going to be a lot easier if you have a tape gun, because just done, rather than picking off a load of tape, stretching it out, cutting it, and then rinse and repeat. Is going to save you a load of time if you're prepping. And a bunch of you will probably be wondering, where can I get a load of prep materials from? Is there like a one-stop shop for all this stuff? Now, for you guys in the UK, I'd recommend Kite Packaging. For the US, I'm sure that there's lots of other things as well. Just Google it. I've not used any in the US, so I can't give you a solid recommendation, but I have used Kite, and I do recommend these guys. I would say the rates here are pretty good, and it's sort of like a one-stop shop for everything. Also, if I get any deliveries myself of anything that has any prep stuff in it, like bubble wrap or whatnot, I tend to keep it if it's in relatively good condition where I can actually reuse it. Don't if you do get anything like that and you're planning on reusing, please make sure that it is in like very good condition where it is actually reusing one. It doesn't look like it is actually being reused because it's like tattered from the way it's been done or the way it's been opened or whatever. If it is in really good condition, use it again, and that's going to save you a bit of money. Also, for things like boxes, you can ask your local supermarkets and stores. They're more than happy to give you a load of their boxes that they get themselves. So you can do things like that. Amazon and eBay, when it comes to packaging, people tend to, I don't know why, but like overthink it a little bit and think that you have to get your stuff from something like Kite. You don't have to. You can get all of your prep stuff, again, for good rates, from Amazon, from eBay. I know, getting prep materials from Amazon to send stuff to Amazon. Yeah, so Kite is a great one, but otherwise Amazon, eBay, even like Temu now is pretty good for getting prep materials from. But yeah, there's loads of places to do it. Just see what is going to work out best for you, what's going to be cost effective, and yeah, that is prepping stuff. Obviously, don't forget to of course create your shipment in Amazon, otherwise you're going to send stuff off, and if you haven't created a shipment and let Amazon know what they're going to expect to receive, then you're going to have to get that order recalled, and that's going to be a real mess because Amazon don't know who that shipment belongs to. With a prep center, you can ignore everything I've said because they're going to do everything for you. You don't have to worry about anything. The only bit that you need to do is obviously get the stuff sent off to the prep center, so you can order it directly to the prep center when you're doing your shopping online. And most prep centers will, I say most, I mean all prep centers will want you to let them know about the shipments you are sending in. So yeah, they might want you to do that via a spreadsheet that they share with you. Some prep centers want you to call up, but the best prep centers, such as the one I use called Skewific, they have an online portal, so you can just very easily arrange the shipments in there, and you can monitor the progress as they prep your stuff for you. And it's one of the only UK prep centers that has an online portal. Loads of US ones use the same online portal that Skewific use, but for some reason a load of the UK prep centers haven't really caught on, but Skewific has. And yeah, I would recommend that one. That online portal is brilliant for arranging your prep. So yeah, if you want to use a prep center, you can ignore everything I've said, and maybe you're watching this and you're going to do a load of the prep stuff yourself. I would say it's good to have some experience with prep, so you know kind of what's entailed. Obviously, please make sure you're reading up on Amazon's guidelines, but yeah, I would say outsourcing prep is going to be a real relief for you when you get to the point where you can do that, because it really is a trying task. So yeah, hopefully this video has helped you understand a bit about what you're going to need, some of the best ways to prep, and how to keep Amazon happy. Thank you for watching.